The session of Management Information System will deal about the strategic concepts. So we have the competition environment or rivalry of competitors within the same product area. Differentiation strategy is developing the ways to differentiate a firm's products. There are three classes of information resources that we can know. One is the business kind of resources. Hello students, welcome to the next session of Management Information System. I'm Dr. Soumya Shri from Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram First Grade College. Let's start this session. The session of Management Information System will deal about the strategic concepts, that is the competitive strategic concepts. What is this competitive strategic concepts is? What are the things we need to know in the competitive strategic concept? Let's look at all these things. The term competitive strategic concepts look like a little bit complex, isn't it? What is this? It is saying competitive, it is saying strategic. Again, we have the concepts. We already read the strategy related concepts. Then what is this competitive strategic concept is all about? So the competitive strategic concepts deal with the strategic role of information system involves using the information technology that we use to develop the products. There may be the involvement of information technology in developing the products, in providing the services to the customers, and capabilities that give a company major advantages over the competitive forces. As we know, business is nothing but competition, isn't it? So who is going to give a competitive edge to your competitors is the added features of the information technology. You can have the competitive strategy built in your business to compete with your competitors or who is ahead of you. The competitive strategic concepts in an information technology or MIS helps you to build a global marketplace, isn't it? So business is not about being there for years and years and continue the same thing, isn't it? Business is all about continuing a legacy. Along with that, trying to expand your business to different areas. Like areas is different areas of the globe as well as different areas of the business, isn't it? So you have to develop or you have to grow in terms of area as well as the variations in your products, isn't it? You have to grow in every aspect of the business. So who is going to help all these things is the competitive strategic concepts. Okay, so there are so many competitive environment that is present in an industry or business. The one thing is rivalry of competitors within the industry or within the same business. As we know, each product will have so many manufacturers, isn't it? So there will be the rivalry of competitors within the same product. Like if I'm producing a bike or a car or say a pen, so you'll have so many competitors within the same product. You may be producing pen, pencil, erasers, everything needed or everything around the components that are needed for a study. Along with that, if you take one product, a pen, you will have hundreds of competitors who compete with you for the same pen. Sale of the same pen affects you when you have more number of competitors, isn't it? So we have the competition environment or rivalry of competitors within the same product area or within the same department or within the same business area, like within same city or same area you may have the competitors. Then you may have the competitors like industry threat of new entrants. Already there are so many competitors. Again comes the new competitors, new entrepreneurs who have startup companies and who are trying to make a area or make a name in the same industry. Along with the existing one, you will get new competitors each year, isn't it? So that is one thing. You have competition from every area, like within product, with new entrants and industry threat of substitutes. Somebody is doing some other task, they will be substituting this one. That means the competitor may have somebody who is having more competence than the manager in your industry. That means he'll make new strategies, new plans to take ahead their business instead of yours. Your business may lag behind because of the substitutes in their company. So again, that is also a competition. If there is a person who is enough competent to fill the post of the manager or a CEO or top executive, there will be so many industries that will be waiting for a capable manager or competent manager. If somebody is there, immediately the industries will grab onto him and offer him a new set of, or offer him so many services, so many increments, and he will be offered various number of offers to join their industry. So he'll have competition with substitute also. Okay, industry threat of substitution or changing the laws. So they may influence the government to change the laws, which may affect you. All these things are possible in a competitive environment. Next thing is bargaining power of the customers. So bargaining is a well-known concept in business, isn't it? Whoever may be the customer, he always wants to bargain. If you are selling a product with 50 rupees, customer starts bargaining from 20 rupees, isn't it? Give me the item which have priced for 50 rupees, give me that for 20 rupees. Why it is not possible? Again, that is a competitive environment. You have to convince the customer that this is the fair price you have fixed for that product. He may say somebody of your competitor, he is giving it for 25 or 30. That means he is compromising with his profit or getting profit in some other way to compete with you by reducing the price. So what does the customer want is a cheap and best product, isn't it? Best product, but in a affordable price. He wants to reduce the price of the product. Whoever may be the seller, he wants to reduce the price of the product, isn't it? How much minimum price you have fixed? Again, he wants to reduce it, isn't it? So what does the business persons will do? They'll keep the price highest itself, so that while bargaining, they'll not compromise too much with the profit. In such a case, when you have competitors to compete with you, he may reduce the price than you. If the same product, if a pen is there for, say you say that it is for 25 rupees or 20 rupees, your competitor may offer the same quality of pen for 15 rupees. Then the customer should say it's better to buy his pen because he is giving the same quality of pen for 15 years, for 15 rupees. That means it is more affordable than my manufactured pen which I am selling it for 25 rupees. That means there is again another competition related to price. I can't too much reduce the price because the way I organize or I manage my industry will be different from how does the competitor deals with it. The competitors may not be paying regular salary for the employees, or he may be spending less on the marketing, or he may be paying less on the infrastructure, investing less on the infrastructure. So he will manage with reduced price of 15 rupees for a 20 rupees pen. But I'm not able to afford that much price for this pen. I'm ready to make it 19 rupees or 18 rupees, but 15 rupees will incur or reduce the profit of mine if you reduce the price of the pen from 20 rupees to 15 rupees. Again, that is also a competition, isn't it? So that bargaining power of the customer will make you to bend in front of the customer and reduce the price. So you have to compromise with the percentage of the profit you are going to get with the same product. And the last thing is the bargaining power of the suppliers. Now again we have the competition. We'll be having suppliers who supply the raw material for manufacturing of this pen. So what they'll do? They'll ask for more price. Customer will ask for less price, and the supplier wants that he gets more price for the same raw material which he is selling to us as well as to our competitor. The supplier will say that he is paying more to me. That means you should have to pay more price for the same raw material. So again, you have to compromise with the price you are paying for the supplier. That means you have to increase the price you have fixed for a raw material. Otherwise, the supplier will give the same material to your competitor. You will be in a loss. You will not get the raw material at the time. Then you have to find a new supplier. You have to make several meetings with the supplier over the price and the quality of the raw material. You have to make the quality check of that. Again, it takes so much of time. That means there is a shortage of time in business, isn't it? So we need to do it everything in a hurry. When you do it in a hurry, there may be some mistakes in making a decision. That means competition also affects the purchasing power of an entrepreneur. He is sandwiched between the supplier and the customer, isn't it? So if I am a businessman, I have to pay more for the supplier and should sell the product for less. That means from both the sides, I have to reduce the profit percentage. So these are the competitive environment that exists in a general industry. Now, we have some of the strategy which reduces this percentage of competition, or how to deal with strategies help you to deal with these kinds of competitions in the industry. The first thing is the cost leadership strategy. So what does this cost leadership strategy will do? You have to become a low cost producer of the products. For customer, you have to give the product with minimum price, isn't it? With minimum, what he expects is you have to give the item or the product to him with a minimum price. What he expects is. So you have to become a low cost producer of products. You have to reduce the expenditures. You have to give less to the employees, less salary to the employees. You have to spend less over the infrastructure, and other resource investment must also be reduced, like equipments, machineries. For the expenditure that you incur on that must be reduced, isn't it? To give a low cost thing. That means low cost product is available only when you compromise with certain conditions, isn't it? Maybe of the quality, maybe the expenditures on salaries of the employees, or pay of the employees, or the infrastructure over a good building and machineries. So building, you may reduce the cost by having a smaller. You can't have even a smaller space which is not enough to perform all the task easily, or all the task efficiently. Now, you cannot reduce the cost of machineries. You need minimum machineries to produce the product, isn't it? So what does the customer wants is, if you are reducing the price, he won't expect you to give a product of lower quality. He wants a high quality product with lower price, isn't it? So how do you manage all these things? That is the cost leadership strategy. So you have to become a low cost producer of the products who produces the items with lower cost or expenditure, with a low expenditure. And services. Always you need to have the services with a minimum service or minimum cost. So when you go to a hotel or a lodge, what you expect is if somebody says we have a 3-star level hotel and tells that the one day's rent, a day's rent for a double room or a single room is 5,000, 6,000, then the customer definitely will say, oh, this is too much costly. I can't afford this much. You have to give the room with a less, say 2,000, 3,000. That is another thing the customer wants. Okay. So most of the times they can't afford it for that much. What they'll do is they'll hike the price of the rooms, and when the customer asks, they'll reduce it. Okay, we will give you the concession. You pay me this much only. So it is an offer for you. So that is how the strategy must be done to deal with the cost. You have to get the profit as well as you have to retain the customer with you, isn't it? So that is what called as the cost leadership strategy. Next comes is the differentiation strategy. So differentiation strategy is developing the ways to differentiate a firm's products and services from its competitors. One way of getting the profit or going ahead of your competitors is doing what they have not done. If they have not done that, I'm going to definitely do that and I will be ahead of others, right? So developing ways to differentiate a firm's products and services from its competitors. Your product must be visible between the other products of the competitors. You need to have a product which is unique and different when compared to the products of your competitors. Along with that, when you talk about the services, services must also be different and must satisfy the customer need so that they find it more easier and comfortable to use our product and services when compared to our competitors. So you have to do the work differently. That is what it says. Do it differently. Differentiation strategy. Whatever the others is doing, if they are doing the same thing, you have to do something which they have not done. Differentiate yourself from others. If you can't do the things differently, do a different product. Go for another area. If you can't manage in hotel, if it is not able to make it in a hotel industry, you make some other thing. Convert the hotel into some other business. You can manage that, you can manage. So if you are not able to manage in that industry, come out of that and change what you are doing. So do differently. When you go with the differentiation, you'll definitely be outshined with your competitors, isn't it? Next is the innovation strategy. That is the main thing, innovation. Whatever it is, go on innovation, go on inventing new things in the same product or go on inventing new products for adding to your industry. So finding a new ways of doing business. The same thing, same legacy, if you continue, you can't grow, isn't it? So to grow, you have to get new things. Innovation must be there. Same thing, you have to innovate something new, isn't it? This may involve the development of unique products, like if you have a pen, this is the ordinary pen which will be having a refill. Ink will be there in the refill and you are going to write. Maybe you will get blue, black and red inks with this pen. This is an ordinary pen. How do you make this unique? You may approach the customer. Customer are the one who will give you new ideas. So you can, there was an invention that multiple refills will be filled in one pen and you can select one of it, isn't it? That was the pen which was unique, where you can have 5 to 6 refills filled in single pen and you can use any of it like red, green, blue, yellow, like that. So that is one unique product. Apart from that, you can have that lights coming through the pens, or while writing, there may be dark. If you have a light with a pen, it can help. That is another unique thing you can have. Or if there is having a pen torch or making it a pen torch from the backside, or using it as a weapon. For normal use, it looks like a pen. If somebody attacks you, it will, you can make it as a knife, pocket knife. You can transform it to a pocket knife. This is how there is no need that each time you have to innovate a new product. You can innovate a new thing in the same product also, isn't it? So pen will always be present. It is present from centuries and will be there till some more centuries, isn't it? So what you can do with pen, if you manufacture the same pen for 100 years, you will remain in the same stage. What you have to do? You have to do the innovations. If there is any problem in this pen, what I can do with this? Suppose if you have a pen which strucks or which the ink cut is not flowing continuously, you can make some other innovation. What you can do in this pen? Even with a single pen, a single pin, you can do the innovation. What innovative ideas you can have for a product? That is important. Having a innovation strategy. This may involve development of unique product and services, or entry into unique markets or market niches. So that is, one thing is make a new innovation in the same product or same service. If you are providing a hotel, you give an offer that you will give 30% or 20% off if they come with a family. If they come in group, you will get 20% off, so that you can make them occupy more rooms with more number of members coming to your hotel. Or if you can have an offer, if you refer to somebody else, you will get this much commission. That is the ways you can do with the services. Or you can enter into unique market that is not present. Suppose this is the pen. If some scientists have invented a pen which you can use it in space, or the pen which you can use it anywhere you have, which is not present. If you find a product which is not currently present in the market, you can manufacture that. You have to take the risk. You don't know whether the customer will accept that product or not. But business is all about taking risk, isn't it? Now we have to take the risk of getting into unique market, isn't it? So today we have so many products already given as a form of pen. Now I will produce a pen which acts as a circuit camera or closed circuit camera, or which helps in getting the audios, accepting the audios. Like we have the Alexa. Alexa is one which will be kept at one place and you have to place the command all over. Suppose if you have a pen, just holding the pen and saying something, if the Google is going to accept it and produce you the output, that is a new market, the product which is not present, isn't it? So you can enter into the unique market or market niches, market areas where you are finding new things. Like we have the Elon Musk, who is into the business with new innovative ideas. He is concentrating only on innovative products. Nobody is saying that all the products that the Elon Musk is going to sell will be a huge success, like driverless cars, going to the moon. He has so many innovative ideas. That is what needed in a business. If my father is doing the business of a pen and I'll go on manufacturing only the pen for next time, I'll manufacture only this kind of pen. Let my son or daughter takes the legacy and do something else. And even your son or daughter thinks in the same way and continues the same pen. There is no scope for innovation, isn't it? Nobody will get a new kind of product. New kind of product, customer will get new kind of product and more profit for a business only when you go for innovation, having innovative ideas. You go to that area before anybody else enters into that market and get a profit, and you can be the leader of that industry. So that is when it asks to enter a new market. Innovation is a must in business. The next strategy is alliance strategy. Okay, so establishing new business linkages and alliances with customers. Suppose the competitor is ahead of you and they are not allowing you to develop in the market. So what you can do is you can make an agreement with the product, or you can merge your business with the competitor, or you can sell the same industry to the competitor and can start some other business. Or else, if you are ahead and your competitor are not allowing you to move ahead, what you can do is you can again sit with the competitor and make an agreement. If they are not ready for that, you can directly purchase that company, which avoids the competition, which kills the competition of that competitor, isn't it? So that is establishing the new business linkages. If the competitor is doing something, you have to approach somebody else to make a link with or business agreement, business link with other entrepreneurs, and alliances with customers, suppliers, competitors and other companies. You can't always fight with the competitors, isn't it? So it will take the profit as well as the satisfaction of the mind and peace of the mind. So better is to make an alliance with the competitors, like the kings used to do. They used to compromise with their enemy by marriages or by building some relationships which avoid the battles and wars, isn't it? Like that, to avoid a competition, you have to make an agreement with the competitor so that competition will end. You can't go on compete with hundreds of competitors. Now what you have to do is you have to reduce the number of competitors. One thing is compromising with them, making an alliance with them, like establishing the link with them, or you have to close the industry or you have to purchase the industry. Whatever you do, you have to avoid the competition. Or if you purchase them, the industry will merge with your industry so that competition will be reduced. Or if there is any fraud happening in that company, you can inform that to government and government will close that industry. So this is how you can make the reduction of or reducing the competition in the business world. Okay, so these are the strategies that we can use. The next thing is, how do you manage and control the resources? So a management control system is a system which gathers and uses information to evaluate the performance of different organizational resources, to manage or to evaluate the performance of resources like human, physical resources, financial resources, and also the organization as a whole. So you have to manage and control the resources. How you are going to manage these resources will be studied by the management and controlling of the resources. We have the management control system which influences the behavior of organizational resources. How does resources are behaving with each other or with the outside world, to implement the organizational strategies, the plans of the organization. Management control system might be formal or informal. It may be formal or informal. Okay. So the management control systems are the tools to aid the management. So why do they aid? Is for steering or for moving an organization towards its strategic objectives and get a competition with the competitors. Okay. The management controls are only one of the tools. They are one of the tools which managers use in implementing the desired strategies. How do you implement the strategies? Okay. Then, even then, the strategies get implemented through the management controls. Who is going to implement these strategies is through the management controls, which will be helped by the structure of the organization and the human resource management. All the fields will help in controlling the organization, motivate the organization as a whole to move towards the strategic implementation of the strategic objectives. Okay. Next, we shall move on to the information resource management, or you can call it as IRM. So the IRM or information resource management is the process of managing the information resources. As we know, the information resources like information technology resources or information resources to accomplish the agency missions. So the mission of the industry and to improve the agency or organization's performance, including the reduction of information collections on the public. So this is about how does the information is collected from the public or in general with anybody, and how do you manage the collected resources. Okay. When you have a standardization and control over the collected information, these resources can be shared. You can share these resources and can be reused. You can reuse those data as an application. In the future also, you can use those data and resources in so many applications. Okay. There are three classes of information resources that we can know. One is the business kind of resources. So the business kind of resources include the enterprise as a whole, business functions, what is the business is going to produce, or the products. Business functions, the positions of the employees, jobs of the employees, human and machine resources like employees and machineries. Skills of an employee is also a resource to the industry. The business objectives is also a kind of business resource which are needed for the business, isn't it? The various projects we get from our clients or customers and the information requirements. So what are all we need to store the information and manage them. So these are all comes under the business resource. What about the other kind of resources? Now we have the system resources. System resource is not the personal computer resource, or general we call it as system. System is the entire business we have is a system. We have the systems, the entire system. Now we have the subsystems like departments in an industry. Administrative procedures, what we are going to do with the administration of the industry. Then administrative procedures include the manual procedures and office automation related. How does employee will work, as well as how does the system will store and manipulate the data. All these are the administrative procedures. Then we have the computer procedures related programs, operational steps, modules and subroutines. All these things comes under the system resources. The last thing is the data resources. Okay, data elements, storage records, files, views, objects, inputs, outputs, panels, maps, call parameters and databases, everything that are connected with a data are considered as the data resources. The concept of resource management is in connection with the materials resource planning. They are not different. They are used as a synonym words. Okay, material resource planning and the resource management are used in the manufacturing of the products. Along with that, both are concerned with the efficient and cost effective use of the resources. How you are going to efficiently and a cost effective way, how do you use the resources? The classification and control of resources are the main objectives in resource management or materials resource planning. Okay, they are classified to prove their uniqueness. The resources are classified to prove their uniqueness so that redundancy will not be there, which when you are storing it to the database. Redundancy is nothing but repetition of the same data several times. Okay, so control is required to collect. You need to control the collection of the data or the resource inventory. How do you store the resources and retrieve the resources? The resource management has to control all these concepts of or all these tasks of collecting, storing it in inventory and accessing the resources or retrieving the resources. Alright, whereas the MRP or materials resource planning is concerned with managing the products. It's all about the manufactured product and the parts required to produce them. If you are producing a car, a bike, what are the products that are needed to manufacture a bike? So that will be planned by the MRP, whereas the information resource management is concerned with managing the information. It is not going into the route of how to manufacture the product, but something about the manufacturing of the product, how it is manufactured, how it is moved to other locations, how it is sold, every details information will be stored in the and managed by the IRM. Okay, one of the important byproducts of this information resource management is the model of the enterprise. It will give you a picture of the entire organization when you look at the IRM, including how it is organized and how it operates. Apart from this, we have other benefits that are all information resources are controllable. You can control the information resources, permitting the ability to design the integrated system. You can integrate multiple systems and perform the impact analysis of the proposed resource change. Okay, you can manage all these things. Along with that, simplified search of information resources. Through the help of IRM, you can easily get into the information resources for reusing it or using it in the future. Redundancy of resource will be eliminated with the help of the information resource management. Along with that, you can have complete and current documentation of all the information resources that are collected by the IRM. Along with that, communication is again possible with the help of IRM only. Communication within the organization can be improved since developers and users, we have both the developers as well as the users, would use the standard and common definition of the information resource. They'll know the meaning of the information resources, how to use them, how to store back them into the database. All these tasks will be managed by the information resource management. So these are all the main benefits or advantages of using the information resource management. Okay, this is about the IRM or the information resource management. Thank you.